Okay, let's talk about a couple things. The last video I uploaded to my vlog channel, most people don't understand this simple, obvious deception, had a high like to dislike ratio, 180 likes over here with 3 views and 53 comments. A lot of you guys were making comments about the like to dislike ratio versus the view count, and I don't even know what to tell you there, guys. What glitch would cause there to be very few views to many likes? And I'm not saying this is the only channel this happens on. I've seen it happen to other channels, but I'm just saying it's not an honest system. These numbers, if these numbers can be manipulated and rigged like this, whether it's a glitch, human error, somebody going in there and manually manipulating the system, or maybe there's a program that does it, you got to wonder about the view counts on some of these videos where, there are a lot of videos out there that basically suck. And you can see that in the dislike to like ratio, and they have a ton of views. So moving on to the next thing I want to talk about, I just got another community guideline strike. And this was for, of course, harassment and bullying on a video, this video right here, that I did over 6 months ago. This was uploaded on November 10th, 2018. It was CNN accidentally aired the truth about this event right here that I'm not going to talk about or say because the algorithms will pick it up and probably slam this video. But it was, there was no harassment or bullying except for the possibility of when I lined this girl right here, this girl's testimony up with the video that CNN chose to play, which showed an empty dance floor with what sounded like shots. And then she described her experience on that night, and she described a crowded dance floor and people breaking through windows. And all I said was, well, what you're saying is not lining up with what the CNN video said. And that obviously constitutes, in their minds, harassment and bullying. So I got a community guideline strike on this vlog channel, which they said it's a warning. They call this a warning, but you only get 1, 2, 3, 4 strikes and you're out. So I've got, let's see, I got 3 more strikes and I'm out of there. Actually 2. If I get this one and this one, this channel's pretty much toast. And I also got 3 days ago, I got a community guideline strike on my main channel for selling a product that is supposedly illegal to sell, even though you can find videos on YouTube where they're actually selling it. And I'm not even going to talk about what that is because I'll probably catch an algorithm and get this video taken down as well. So there's this video right here. And then I want to talk about a comment that Ramo2U gave me. And I try to look this up, and I'll fill you in on this in a second. But he said, "High Impact Flicks, Trump admin just gave a quote recently that I think you should see." And this quote comes from the Firearms Policy Coalition Instagram page. And I'll just read it from here, but it's word for word the same thing that you see here as you see here. "Even if the plaintiff were entitled to Second Amendment protection, his challenge would be baseless. 18 U.S.C. Section 922G furthers the government's compelling interest in keeping firearms out of the hands of individuals who are likely to use them irresponsibly. Empirical evidence supports the conclusion that those previously convicted of drunk driving are significantly more likely to abuse alcohol and commit acts of violence. And these drunk drivers are significantly more likely than individuals without alcohol-related convictions to be arrested for crimes involving violence and/or misuse of firearms." Now, it looks like, and this says it's from the Trump administration brief to Third Circuit Court of Appeals, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and I'm assuming that's Virgin Islands because Vermont is VT and Virginia is VA. So Virgin Islands maybe. So gun policy says, and this is this person's Instagram page, gun policy. "Here's what we're up against. This is what the NRA-backed Trump administration said today in one of our cases. We need you to help us fight this crap." If this is true, guys, and I haven't been able, I searched on the internet, I did a couple Google searches, DuckDuckGo, I looked at a couple different avenues to try to find where this quote came from, and I couldn't find it, but this would not surprise me coming out of the Trump administration. And what I really need you guys who follow Trump and endorse Trump and support Trump to understand is facts don't care about your feelings either. Facts are just facts. And sometimes facts disturb our reality. Sometimes we can get caught up in the cult of personality and say, no, not my guy. My guy would never do that. And yet we find that, yes, indeed, this person not only does this, but he's worse than the last person. And I'm referring to Obama. And I'm going to prove that in a second. Just hang with me, okay? But Ramo to you said this. So if you have ever gotten a DUI, then you may not have your entitled constitutional rights anymore if the bill he's putting together goes through or he decides to force it through with executive order once again. And I don't know what he's referring to right there, but the executive order that went completely against the Second Amendment of shall not be infringed was the executive order to ban bump stocks. Now, you may say to yourself, I've never used a bump stock and I never plan on using a bump stock, so big deal. But any infringement on your right to keep and bear arms should be viewed very, very seriously. People make horrible choices at young ages. I know I did. I never drove drunk. Or you know what? No, I take that back. I may or may not have. I can neither confirm nor deny that. But I did some stupid things. Stupid things. And I'm sure a lot of you guys did too. When you're young, you just do stupid things. I myself have a DUI from when I was young and stupid, and I thank God for it, as that DUI saved my life. I haven't had a drink since then, and I've cleaned up my life. Without that DUI, I would have continued to drink and abuse drugs, and I most likely would have died by now. Now, because I have that DUI, it means I'll lose my Second Amendment rights, even though I have cleaned up and started over. And you know, this is unfair. This is assuming that if you've been guilty of this infraction in the past, then you're just not responsible enough to have a firearm. And we, the government, say that you shouldn't have that firearm to protect yourself or your family. And then he says, this is a slippery slope, guys. What's next after this? No-fly list, trespassing charges. How far do you think this could go if it passes? And that's the whole thing about the bump stock. You may never use one. You may never even have heard of a bump stock before the Las Vegas, whatever happened in Las Vegas. And you may never plan on using a bump stock, and you don't even care. But you actually should care, because anytime somebody puts their foot in the door of your freedom, needs to be taken seriously and rejected with everything we've got. And the reason I'm not surprised if this did come out of the Trump administration, even though I can't find it, is because of this right here. Now, here is William Barr. Let's just listen to what he said. Okay, listen to what he said. Take heart and open your ears and put down any kind of cognitive dissonance or Stockholm syndrome or cult of personality leanings, and just listen to what the man says and ask yourself, is this consistent with shall not be infringed? If it's not consistent with those 4 words, then it needs to be rejected for the sake of freedom. Listen.
Piecemeal a little bit right now. We need to really get some energy behind it and get it done. And I also think we need to push along the ERPOs so that we have these red flag laws.
Now, he said a term that you might not be familiar with, ERPOs. It's synonymous with red flag law. It's extreme risk protection orders. This is where your neighbor or a family member, even somebody who doesn't even know you, let's say you go out to the grocery store and you're carrying a gun, and somehow they follow you home. They find out where you live. This person can lodge a complaint and say that you are not fit to be a gun owner. And they can investigate you. They can get a search warrant, violate your Fourth Amendment rights, confiscate your property, take your guns, hold you for questioning. That's what this extreme risk protection order is, this ERPO, this red flag law. And this guy is saying that he is for this. So listen to this again.
I think we need to push along the ERPOs so that we have these red flag laws to supplement the use of the background check to find out if some.
Okay, so he's for the ERPOs, he's for the red flag laws, and he's for background checks. You know what that means? Infringement, infringement, infringement.
Someone has some mental disturbance. This is the single most important thing I think we can do in the gun control area.
Red flag laws that strip you of your Second Amendment and your Fourth Amendment is one of the most urgent things we can do.
Important thing I think we can do.
It's one of the most important things he thinks you should do.
In the gun control area.
And wait till you see who he's talking to.
To stop these massacres from happening in the first place.
Well, thank you. I'd like to work.
Well, if it isn't our friend Diane Frankenstein, Miss Turn 'em all in, Mr. and Mrs. America. Turn 'em all in.
With you in that regard.
Yes.
She wants to work with Bill Barr to enact red flag laws, to make sure the ERPOs come into being, to work hand in hand with background checks. Now, here's why I think that this is not beyond the capability of the Trump administration.
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Well, the category, you spoke about it, Mr. President, gun violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this. And I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because
What? What? Take the firearms first and then go to court? Make America great again? I think I'm going to make a shirt, make infringement great again. This is nothing but infringement. If you're for the Second Amendment, you are 100% against what Trump just said here. But there's more.
that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this.
Yeah, forget about due process. Take the guns early. Take the guns first.
Crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Don't you know Diane Feinstein, who's sitting right here, loved that? She was eating that up, guys. Tell me this man right here is Second Amendment friendly. Even Obama didn't say stuff like that. And you know, if Obama said this, if Hillary said that, people would be going through the roof. They would be blowing their tops. Steam would be coming out of their ears. But somehow there's this cognitive dissonance when Mr. Make America Great. How can you make America great again? How can you possibly make America great again when you're infringing on the Second Amendment rights of Americans? Leave your thoughts about this for the world, the Google Thought Police, and every person who wants to infringe on your Second Amendment rights in the comments section below. If you guys enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. Also, check out over 100 hard-hitting designs in the shirt store, and if you want to support more content, hit me up on Patreon or PayPal. All those links will be in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.